Okay, this little nest cookie might be one of my favorites from this Easter set. So the first thing that I did, and I did this off camera unfortunately, is I made these little Easter egg transfers. And so it's just on a little piece of cellophane. I just outlined and flooded my little eggs, sprinkled them with some food coloring. I do have a video called Raspberry Transfers if you're curious about the transfer process and how to make transfers, but I did this off camera, so they've had a while to dry, and then I can just peel them off and transfer them into the little nest. So for this cookie, the first thing I did is I actually flooded underneath the nest, because the nest itself, it uses a outline consistency, which doesn't suck moisture out of the cookie as much as like a stiff consistency would, but still I just like to have a bit of that flood consistency icing underneath it, because it just prevents any kind of a stiffer consistency icing from sucking moisture out of your cookie. And flood icing tastes delicious, let's be honest. So I'm just gonna, I mean, this isn't pretty, it's not perfect at all, it's gonna be covered up completely by our nest, so it's just gonna fill in the space here, and then we'll just let it set before we put our nest on it. In the meantime, we're gonna work on some of our greenery, and we are going to use our outline consistency and draw some branches. So I'm just going to touch down, apply consistent pressure, lift and direct that icing, and then touch down. I'm gonna have another one over here, the branch coming off of it this way, and one coming down this way. And on this side, we'll do one up here. Do one coming right here with a branch coming off of it down there. Alrighty, now we're going to add some leaves onto that. So same icing, we're just going to apply pressure and then release pressure as you pull away to get a bit of a point on the end. You come down the side and match that on the other side. And we'll just do that same thing on each of these stems of leaves. Now we're gonna do some of these little branches here. So we're gonna take our brown outline consistency icing and draw a branch coming straight out here and one coming out the bottom here and one coming out this way. And now we're gonna use an outline consistency in white. And we're gonna do almost the same thing that we did with the leaves, but we don't want it pointed. So we're just gonna apply a consistent pressure and try not to pull away as much to get that point that we were intentionally trying to get on the leaves. We want these to be a little bit more oval in shape. poofy and oval. And if you do get any points, we can just use, like that one has a bit of a point to it. So we can just use a dry paint brush at the end to just sort of press those in and make sure that we have a soft tip to the end of all of these. Okay, so now we will take a dry paintbrush. We'll look for anywhere that it's got a little bit of a point to it, and we'll just press that down gently. All right. Now we're going to do our brown outline again, consistency, and we're gonna do another branch that's gonna come up, and this is gonna be a little bit more twig-like. So a couple branches coming off of itself like that, and kind of filling in any of this blank open space. And then we're gonna take our outline consistency in purple and do little round dots. This is just a common like space filler that I do. I don't know whether it's berries or like a stalk flower or what I think it's supposed to look like, but I like it. Fills the space nicely. So we're gonna use this brown outline consistency. I'm gonna start by filling in the base of the bird's nest. So I'm just going to apply consistent pressure and go around and around and around and around and around until I have covered this whole area that we flooded. And I'm going to extend out beyond that. All right, now I'm just gonna come and cover in anywhere that there might be gaps showing. These are, of course, this is a nest, so these are made from like little twigs and stuff, so it's perfectly fine if, you know, your icing breaks. I think it just looks a little bit more realistic. Now we're gonna start to build up this outer edge like the wall of a nest we see here. So we're gonna just go around and around and around, but we're just keeping focused on just this outer edge. And this is actually a pretty simple cookie to do because like these circles don't have to be perfect. It's okay if the string of icing breaks. All of it, I think, almost just adds to the realism of the cookie. Okay, so there we go. Now we'll just take our icing transfers and I'm gonna just peel the back off. We'll use a little bit of that same brown outline consistency icing to glue our transfer into the nest. Can tap it down, grab another one. Same thing. Okay, one step I forgot to do, so we'll add it in now, is just to take your brown outline consistency and bring a little bit of that icing up onto each of these little white poofs. That white poof broke, but that's okay. All right, let's just fix that one poof over here. Perfect. There we go.